What's up, everybody? Skylar and Pedro back with another video. As you can see, we got another deck tech coming. The monster is about to be unleashed. I got two decks in here, probably two of my most powerful, upgraded, most fun to play. But today's deck tech, as you guys seen, we're going to be doing zombies. Now this commander I have, Wilhelt, is, to me personally, my opinion, is the best zombie commander. And we'll just take a look at him real quick. Whenever another zombie you control dies, if it didn't have Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a zombie. If you do, draw a card. Now, my favorite commanders are always things that give me value, so drawing a card is very important. That's how you win games. If you can outdraw your opponent, you'll definitely be able to get to your combo pieces or whatever you have a lot quicker. And of course, because we're playing zombies and we have Decayed, we got tokens, zombie army token, zombie decay tokens, a couple zombie tokens, old school zombie tokens, some more, and just a bunch. All different types of zombies. Even got a clue token, but on the back is a zombie token. Gotta have all the zombies. We do produce a lot of zombies. And let's just get right into the deck tech. Alright, we're just gonna go ahead, get started. Separated this for you guys. And we're gonna go ahead and start with our creatures. Main reason we play this deck. All these zombies, but starting off with Zombie Master. Him himself is not a zombie, he is a summon lord. But all zombies in play gain Swamp Walk and tap one swamp, regenerate for as long as this card remains in play. Very important in case we try and swing in, anybody dies, we could just regenerate them if we don't want them to die at the time and just continue moving. Now this one is Dark Salvation. Target player creates X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, then up to one target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each zombie that player controls. So we do produce a lot of zombies. Somebody has a pesty creature we need to get rid of. We also make zombies and we get rid of them. Next, good old Grave Titan, Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, put 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. Some people don't run this card. This is my, I guess, pet card, Grave Titan. It produces zombies. I always wanted to have Grave Titan, and I just throw him in this deck because he produces zombies. One of my favorite zombies, Murderous Rider. Send him on an adventure for a colorless and a black, destroy a target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. But you can play him later for another 3 life link, and when he dies, put him on the bottom of the owner's library. So he always goes back to the deck. Pretty good. Midnight Reaper. We're going to be sacrificing a lot of stuff, and probably a lot of our stuff's going to be being killed. So Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card whenever a non-token creature you control dies. That's very important. Card draw. Mostly with this deck we're dealing damage to ourselves more than anybody else is doing to us. But carrying feeders, can't block, sacrifice a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on it. We needed a sacrifice outlet so that way we can get our zombies going, get the engines going, get some cards drawn, all that stuff. Good old Diagraph Captain, you already know. Other zombies get +1/+1, and whenever a zombie you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life. But staple for zombies. This is a newer card. Well, don't know about newer anymore, but newer one I added to it. Crypt Breaker. Colorless and a black, discard a card, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. Tap 3 untapped creatures you control, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So, another card draw engine, a way to discard a card and make a 2/2 zombie. Any way we can make zombies for our commander or any way at all is very important. And all these zombies are going to get buffed up. We have a lot of zombie lords. A lot that buff them up. But this one returns a zombie target card from your graveyard to your hand. So these 2 on the battlefield, we can literally discard it and bring it right back to our hand and just continue the cycle, or you can find any shenanigans you can do as you play. Now a new commander deck was just released of this. I am going to get the artwork of it just to replace this card, but when Jisa and Garaf enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards, put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard basically. Then during each of your turn, you may cast a zombie creature from your graveyard. So even though we're discarding with Crypt Creeper, we can cast from our graveyard with Jisa and Garaf. Now this one, Tainted Adversary, nice set symbol, love that one. But when it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 colorless and a black any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tainted Adversary. Then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed. So not only does he make zombie tokens, he makes himself bigger. And with all the other zombie lords we have, we kind of overpower with power, swing in, and deal a lot of damage. This one is another draw engine. Whenever him himself or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Drawing cards is very important. Another zombie lord, buffing it up. But all zombies gain menace. Can you imagine if we have 10 zombies on the field and they have to block each with 2 creatures? Sometimes they're not going to be able to do that, and we just swing in. This is another way. Amass 1 creates another token, but zombie tokens you control have hexproof and menace. So they can't get rid of our zombie tokens. They can't block them that easy. Becomes harder the wider we go, which we do go wide with this deck, the harder it is for them to get it. Another zombie lord, this one's a human though, but gives zombies control +1, and at your end step, if a creature died this turn, which most likely it will, colorless and a black, you can create a 2/2 zombie token. So just another way to create tokens. Very important. This one won me a couple games, but Ray Merchant, Asphodel, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain that much life. Now, gaining life is very important in this deck, since we're going to be damaging ourselves a lot. Slipped the land in there by accident. We'll put that to the side. Diagraph Colossus, very cool card. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard. As you see, we had a lot of ways to put zombies in the graveyard, but when you cast a zombie spell, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Definitely creating a lot of tokens, definitely sacrificing a lot of stuff. This is another example, but if we have a token and this enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. So we can just sacrifice a token or this, and all our triggers will happen, and an opponent will have to sacrifice a creature. Hopefully it's something they don't need. Now this guy is very cool, but what we're going to try and do is get 3 or more creature tokens, and you may transform them. And backside is the most important part for us of what we have to do. And creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have a base power and toughness of 3. So basically, all our zombie decay tokens are no longer decayed. They can swing in, they can block, they can do whatever, and they will not die when they swing in. This is a card I put in here myself. Don't see it a lot in different deck techs, but Vulgar Necroplos Tyrant has menace whenever another creature dies during your turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it, so he does get buffed. But when he dies, he draws a card for each +1/+1 counter on it. I love the drawing cards. Very important. Good old staple Gravecaller. Been around for a long time. The guy that never dies. Always comes back as long as you control a zombie and you can cast them from your graveyard. So you already know the shenanigans with him. This is another card that's real nice. Noise Wrath Mob enters the battlefield with 5 +1/+1 counters on it. So basically, a player is going to cast a spell. We're going to create a token each time they cast a spell, but when he dies, most likely we're going to get a benefit from him dying. So we get 5 tokens out of that one card, and then when he dies, we get another benefit from it. But Vengeful Dead, another way to, each opponent loses 1 life when a zombie or himself dies. This gives all our zombies flying, kind of crazy. fly over everybody, especially how wide we are getting. But when it deals damage to one of or more of your opponents, you may draw cards equal to the number of opponents dealt damage this way. If you do, discard that many cards. And like I said, we can play out the graveyard. So as long as we draw and we discard our hand correctly, we should be fine. Headless Rider, or another non-token zombie you control dies. Create another 2/2 black zombie creature token. Now this one of my favorite zombie lords, whatever you want to call them. Undead War Chief, makes zombie spells cost 1 less, and zombies you control get +2/+1. And as you see, as many buffs as we get, another one, our zombies are going to be very, very strong. So if they have menace, it's going to be hard to block. Cemetery Reaper, another +1/+1. Exile target creature card from a graveyard, not only yours but any opponent's, and you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So I like getting rid of pesky stuff in opponents' graveyards that they keep bringing back. Once it hits there, we activate that, exile it, and get ourselves a zombie. Now this is another buff. Gives it +1/+1, but it also gives a death touch. So that's crazy right there. Imagine menace and death touch at the same time. Don't think anybody's going to want to block that. Ravenous Rotbelly. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice up to 3 zombies. When you sacrifice 1 or more zombies this way, each opponent sacrifices that many creatures. So most likely we're going to have a bunch of tokens, zombie tokens, so we can sacrifice 3 zombie tokens, and they have to sacrifice 3 of their creatures as well. And we can constantly bring him back from the graveyard some way, somehow. Relentless Dead has menace. When it dies, you may pay black. If you do, return it to his owner's hand. So that's very good. And also when it dies, you may pay X. If you do, return another target zombie creature card with commander mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So these are 2 amazing effects. Bring back 2 cards. Overwhelm the opponent. Now this, a lot of people overlook, but a lot of people will hate. But when a Noxious Gold or another zombie comes into play, all non-zombie creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. As many zombies as we produce a turn, most likely he's going to be a board wipe himself. This guy has an infinite combo with Rooftop Storm. That's why he's in here. We don't really go for the infinite combo, but it's in there just in case we're playing a competitive game. We have to have a way to win no matter what. And once that happens, we're going to always enter the dungeon that he cannot complete. And with Rooftop Storm, we could keep doing it over and over and over. Plague. Belcher. Menace. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. There's a lot of ways to opponents to lose life in this deck, for you to lose life, but we gain a little bit of life, and that really helps. And this is Blade Stitch Scab. Other zombies you control get +1/+0 for a blue and a black. Mana cost is most important, just blue and a black, but it's a nice little zombie buff in right there. And we got a lot of them, and you guys know this powerful card, Scarab God. Usually the other secondary commander. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life, and you scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. Exile target creature card from a graveyard, so any creature, including your opponents. So if they have a Blightsteel Colossus in their graveyard, you can exile it, create a token copy of it, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. We'll take it. Exile, get some nice stuff out of it. Tomb Tyrant, another buff, +1/+1, but this one you sacrifice a creature for 2 colorless and a black, and you return a zombie creature card at random from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only during your turn, and if you have at least 3 zombie creature cards in your graveyard. Which, you're seeing how much we sacrifice, you're seeing how much we're going to get rid of. Most likely we're going to have that, be able to activate that and get anything back at random. Gold color Gisa. 1 black, sacrifice another creature. Create an X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is the sacrifice power. You see all the buffs we have. We can sacrifice tokens, get more tokens, and if our zombies is 6/6, we'll get 6 2/2s out of one zombie. This one's real nice. 3 colorless, sacrifice another zombie, create 2 tokens that are copies of the sacrificed creature. This gets crazy if we sacrifice something that is an engine for us. We get more than it, and it's just crazy. It gets very, very out of hand. That's it for the creatures. We're going to go ahead, check out Planeswalkers next. I can run 2 Planeswalkers. Both are Liliana. She's my favorite Planeswalker. Liliana, Dread Horde General. Whenever a creature you control dies, you draw a card. Her +1 is create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. -4, each player sacrifices 2 creatures, and you do not have to have the 2 creatures in order to activate this. You can just activate it. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control of each permanent type and sacrifice the rest. So most likely, we're going to hit the board. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures, and then the next one, we're just going to plus it up. But whenever a creature we control dies, we can draw a card. So if we have zombies, we can sacrifice them, draw a card, keep that going. Pretty nice. Here's the other version of her, Liliana, Death's Majesty. Her +1 creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token, and you got to put 2 cards in your graveyard. But her -3 is return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a black zombie in addition to his other type. So this is another way to bring back stuff from the zombies. And her -7 is destroy all non-zombie creature tokens. So these 2 Planeswalkers are very strong, staple in zombie decks. She controls the army. Wilhelt is her bitch. And that's how it is. Soul Ring, staple of Commander, Arcane Signet. You guys already know what that do. Sky Diamond, not the best, but enters the battlefield tap, add blue. I run 35 lands in here, so I got a lot of mana ramp. Crowded Crypt, 2 colorless and a black, add a black. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a corpse counter on it, and you know we're going to get a lot of creatures that die. But sacrifice Crowded Crypt, create 2/2 black zombie creatures tokens with Decayed for each corpse counter on Crowded Crypt. So basically, if we're able to get this high number, eventually we'll sacrifice it, but most of the time we're just going to be using it to tap for black. Here's Charcoal Diamond, enters the battlefield tap for black. Good old Talisman of Dominance, add a colorless or add blue-black, deals 1 damage to you. A lot of mana ramp right there. Now this is a card I put in here I don't see a lot of people run, is the Wand of Orcus. But whenever a creature attacks or blocks, it and zombies you control gain Death Touch. So I love Death Touch because nobody wants to block a creature that's going to kill their own creature. And whenever a crypt creature deals damage to a player, create that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Another way to create tokens. Pyre of Heroes. This is a search engine. 2 colorless, sacrifice a creature, search your library for a creature card that shares a creature type with the sacrificed creature. It has a converted mana cost equal to 1+ stat creatures commanded boss. Put that card onto the battlefield. So basically, we got to sacrifice a grave crawler, go get us a crypt creeper, and call it a day. Best mana ramp we have right here, Ashnod's Altar. I'm going to get the other artwork where the zombie is just laying there, but this is the old version of it. But for 0 colorless, we can sacrifice a creature to add 2 colorless mana to your pool. Now, as many tokens as we have, as many as we're going to be generating, we're going to be able to sacrifice a lot. Get into our instants. We only run 2 instants and 3 sorceries. Aether Spout, for each attacking creature, its owner puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So, doesn't return it to their hand, doesn't destroy it, puts it at the top or the bottom. So if they come in all in, they're going to be annoyed because they got to put it somewhere and then draw back into it. This is a nice foretell for 1 black. So basically, turn 2, we can put this in a foretell, and then later on, when they board wipe, create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn. So this is a way, in case we get board wipe from our zombie army, we can have this and the foretell on the side game. Play that for 1 black, and let's say 10 creatures died, we get 10 zombies, and it's like as if we didn't even get damaged. Now this one is kind of crazy. Sacrifice X zombies, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a number of zombie creatures cards equal to the number of zombies sacrificed this way. Put those cards on the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library. So if we sacrifice 5 tokens, we look for 5 other zombies and they hit the battlefield. And a lot of our zombies are crazy, so no matter what we hit, it's going to benefit us. This is good old Feed the Swarms, destroy a target creature or an enchantment. Some enchantments be pesky, but you lose life equal to the mana value. Zombie Apocalypse, in case we destroy too many zombies and they start overpowering us, we can return all zombie creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped, then destroy all humans. I am thinking about changing this board wipe, but I kind of put it in here just for the theme of return all zombie creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. I rarely get the human part. A lot of people don't play human decks, so we're going to see about that. This curse right here, playing a landfall deck, Skylar with his aces. Put this on him. We'll be able to get a 2/2 black zombie token whenever a land enters the battlefield, gets out of hand. Now this is probably the strongest card in our deck. Allows us to play our zombies for 0 rather than their mana cost. And cheating out anything is amazing. Another buff, but when it enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. 3 colorless, 2 black. Zombies you control get +1/+1. Now, this is where it gets out of hand. All the zombies we're playing, as this enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, which is going to be zombies. But whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, you copy that spell. So, we're going to be getting 2 of each zombie. As long as it's not a legendary, we'll be alright and get plenty more. Even if it's a legendary, we will get that die trigger of it dying. And this, even though the first part doesn't really matter to us, enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white human soldier token. The second part of this effect is what helps us. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We lose a lot of life, so anytime we can gain life is important. Dread Horde Invasion. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and a mass 1. So you guys saw the mass token, but whenever a creature zombie token you control with power 6 or greater attacks, it gains lifelink until end of turn. All these buffs we have, most likely our tokens are going to be way stronger than that. Coming up on the last 2 enchantments. Open the Graves. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. I'm telling you, we get a lot of tokens. And the most expensive card in my deck, Meat Hook Massacre. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. So it is a board wipe, but whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain 1 life. So we gain so much life with that. It's a very powerful card. Game changing. That is why the price is so high. And here's the mana base if you guys want to check it out. Start off with the dual lands. Got 1, 2, 3. One that adds multiple colors. Got 2 of those. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 ways to add blue and black. Now the rest of these. We got Bojuka Bog. Exiles target opponent graveyard. This one you may put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. When it enters the battlefield, just another way to get it back. And we run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 swamps. The rest are going to be islands, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 10. Or 11. And then the 2. That's basically it for this deck list. It is a strong deck. It will get out of hand. Keep track of all your zombies. Make sure you have dice on you. Make sure you have tokens, because you're going to be losing life, creating tokens, sacrificing them just to draw cards, creating Decayed. And it's very important to keep track of it. But this deck is very strong, very fun to play. Wilhelt, the Rotcleaver. Till next time, guys.